Welcome to the Counter-Strike Global Offensive Iceberg. An iceberg chart houses entries and facts about a certain topic in a tier format. In most cases, tiers go from knowledgeable things that everybody knows to obscure details not known by many. This chart is going to be a little bit different though, because it'll go from lighthearted subjects to heavy ones. This iceberg was created by me, actually. I made this for fun. So now I'm making a YouTube video about it. And of course, if I missed anything, then let me know in the comments. This is also part 1 of a 2-part series, so stay tuned for part 2. Now then, let's begin. So P90 Rush B is exactly what it sounds like. You rush B with a P90. This meme actually goes all the way back to the Source days, with a YouTube video being posted about it back in the summer of 2010. It's kind of hard to track the origins of a lot of jokes, but this is one example I could find. Usually it's used to mock Russian or Slavic sounding players, and generally it's been tied with that group. With a game as popular as Counter-Strike, there's obviously going to be some friendly competition that pops up. One of the more recent and popular examples is Valorant, which is essentially the same game except with the Overwatch style abilities. Valorant takes a more lighthearted approach with its art, story, tone, and characters, while Counter-Strike is more grounded in reality. Valorant does have some differences though, for example, the movement feeling different, iron sights on every weapon, and horrible map design. There are some other games that use the 5v5 bomb defusal game mode like COD. However, CSGO and Valorant's core design is based off that gameplay, while in COD, for example, it's more like an added-on game mode you could fuck around with. I think there was some terrible, god-awful Chinese bootleg of CSGO 2 for mobile, but I haven't really looked into that. This one's pretty simple. For every map in the game, there's a certain name that people like to give a spot or choke point. Most names for spots are official and listed by Valve, but there are some special ones given nicknames by the community. For example, in this corner here on Dust 2, the more commonly used name is Goose, named after Min Gooseman Lei, who was one of the first devs for Counter-Strike. Graffiti of the word goose was later added in 1.6, and currently it's a mural of an actual goose. There's also this part in Mirage called Market, which I usually hear more than the official name Shop. And a personal favorite of mine is this underground area here in Inferno, which is called Mexico. Hey, don't look at me, I just think it's kind of funny. There's a billion examples of these on every map, so I'll just stop here and you can do the rest yourself. You remember Overwatch, right? Yeah, it's not that one. Before the Blizzard game, there was CSGO's version of it. Released in its beta version in 2013, the Overwatch system was a community-driven anti-cheat method designed to give experienced and trusted players the opportunity to punish cheaters. The game would send you gameplay footage of someone acting, as the kids say, "Sussy baka." You would then have to determine whether or not they were using wall hacks, aim assist, griefing, or scripts by watching over the footage and looking for sus behavior. The feature is still available today, and depending on a multitude of factors like account age and rank, even you can punish cheaters. December 6th, 2018. I'm writing this letter to inform you of the upcoming storm. Today, CSGO goes free. My men tell me not to lose hope and keep fighting. But I can't. I see the end is near and there's no future for anyone. I am petrified. They come in swarms every day. The mic spammers.
No one cares! Shut the fuck up!
Spin bots. Children.
Give me MVP! My MVP, give!
I've seen the horrors of humanity that no man should ever witness. I pray to Valve every night, hoping one day these nightmares will end, but in return, I'm met with silence. Roblox is a game where kids can make their own games to share with others using the Roblox engine. One of these games is Counterblocks, which is essentially a one-for-one recreation of CSGO using the Roblox engine, including the same maps, custom skins, realistic weapons, etc. I've actually played this before and it's really not that bad for a Roblox game. Created by Rolv in 2015, it's still one of the most played games on the website. In January of 2021, Valve made the decision to remove bots from ranked game modes completely, meaning that if a player left or got kicked, instead of being replaced by a bot that you could take control of if you die, you would instead receive a bonus of funds after every round. This was pretty controversial at the time, with many players angry at the decision, wanting the old bots back, but there doesn't seem to be any plans for having them make a return. Valve said they did this in order to stop people from kicking the worst guy on the team and letting the best player take control of the bot every round. Personally, I'm gonna miss the bots, and getting an opportunity to redeem myself with what's basically seen as a second life, but it's really not that big of a deal. This phrase means something along the lines of fucking bitch or bitch whore in Russian. Like I touched on earlier, Russians have a long-running reputation in the CSGO community for being loud and obnoxious, so in turn they get mocked a lot. Nothing more to say about it really.
Пошел нахуй, даун ебаный, ебал, ты, блядь, сидит, пидорасов, сука, блядь!
I'm gonna add these two together since they're pretty similar. CSGO's skin market for weapons is pretty fucking insane. Being able to buy, sell, and trade skins that are valued at different prices pretty much saved the game. I'll get into this in more detail later. Valve makes millions off of it, and it's probably one of the most financially successful features for the entire video game market. Not to mention cases and the roulette system, where you can spend real, actual money to unlock virtual skins you can sell for in-game Steam money, which can't be transferred back into real money. It essentially changed the way that any other company looked at monetizing games, for better or for worse. Anyway, because of this system, a multitude of websites that let you gamble away your skins sprung up around 2016. And just like Valve's official version, they're all essentially scams. Soon after, tons of CSGO YouTubers started to promote these sites in sponsorships or whole videos. They would essentially show their audience them gambling on the site and getting super legendary items like knives and rare skins. This would then make the audience member think that they could win just like their favorite YouTuber, so they'd go on the site and gamble some skins until they realized this whole thing was rigged from the start. The websites would give the YouTubers an unfair advantage and rig the system to display them winning big on sites, tricking a lot of young fans into spending real money on a game they can't win. Not only that, but a lot of YouTubers failed to mention that they were co-owners of some of these sites, and this caused a major controversy. There's many more videos from around the time that go into more detail and specifics about this whole thing that you can watch on YouTube. The aftermath was so bad that Valve ended up suing tons of websites for this. A few examples are CSGO Lotto, CSGO Empire, CSGO Wild, and many more. There's also the issue of promoting these to children, where kids can fall victim to these gambling scams. Many news articles were published about the problems that it caused, and all the gambling sites have had a slow downfall ever since. You can still probably find some, but the trend has mainly died down now. In the demolition game mode for CSGO, the map named Bank also makes an appearance in the game Payday 2. You can also find 3 masks from Payday 2 scattered around the map, but this was removed on May 23rd of 2017 for some reason. There isn't really a definitive answer as to why Valve removed it, and I doubt we'll ever even get an answer. The masks you find are for the characters Dallas, Hoxton, and Wolf. Apparently there's rumors there's a 4th mask too, but I couldn't find it. This is another phrase used commonly in games. Basically, the premise is that someone would be in a 1v1, a 1v2, or god forbid a 1v5 situation against the enemy team. Then someone might say clutch or kick and then pull up a vote to kick you. So you either win the round or get kicked. Obviously, most of the time it's a joke, but you never know. On February 5th, 2014, a Valve employee fucked up the weapon stats of the AUG in a new update, and made it the most broken and OP weapon for the whole week. The stats included the first 5 bullets shot not having any recoil, and shooting as fast as the P90 with the same damage. This made being on the CT side very powerful, and even caused some pro teams not to use the AUG because of how unfair it was. On December 8th of 2015, the winter update introduced a new weapon to the game's arsenal, the R8 revolver. And by God, what a glorious day it was. The Source engine is what's currently running most Valve games today. It was made in 2004 with the release of Half-Life 2, and is also the engine behind Portal, Left 4 Dead, TF2, and of course CSGO. Ever since Dota 2's full port towards the new engine made in 2015 named Source 2, CSGO fans have been asking Valve for their turn on Source 2, but currently it seems like there's no plans to implement it just yet. Ninja defusing is a strat used by CTs to defuse the bomb without the Ts knowing. The basic way of doing this is by sneaking onto the site, smoking off the bomb, and then throwing a flashbang. The noise of the flashbang can hide the sound of the bomb being defused, and the smoke covers your body from the enemy. Pulling it off is really rewarding, and I highly recommend you give it a shot if you can. To keep it brief, on August 21st, 2014, the pro teams iBuyPower and Netcode Guides faced off for a rematch after iBuyPower got destroyed in the previous game. Although, their behavior and decision making seemed very odd in the second game. For fans and even the commentators, this wasn't like them to play this weird, and this clip here shows the most damning evidence that something was up. The next day, an article accused the team of match fixing. iBuyPower was accused of throwing the game on purpose in order to bet against themselves and make a huge profit. And some leaked photos here show that the player Shazam on Netcode Guides and his team were in cahoots with iBuyPower to ensure that Netcode Guides won. Of course, the team denied all allegations, but after an investigation on csgolounge.com, where the betting took place, it traced all back to iBuyPower players and the founder of Netcode Guides. Later, Valve stepped in and permanently banned many players on both teams from both the pro scene and any major CSGO events. Nowadays, most of these players have moved on to bigger and better things, and this is a scandal they want to move away from. The AWP and the AK-47 both make appearances in Team Fortress 2. They're equipable by the sniper and are reskins the default weapons, the sniper rifle and the SMG. Okay, I'm coming back to this one because I got something wrong. There isn't actually an AK-47 weapon in TF2. It's actually just a mod that reskins the SMG to look like the AK-47, so it's not official. Also, the name of the reskinned weapon in TF2 is called the Upper Hand.
Christ, that right there is the
Auto.
Now let's talk about the
Auto.
Can we talk about the
Auto.
Please, Mac, I'm dying to talk about the
Auto.
with you all day, okay?
The G3, SG1, and SCAR-20, more commonly referred to as autos, are a very controversial set of weapons in the game. They're both semi-automatic sniper rifles with a high rate of fire and high amount of damage. The reason it's controversial is because a lot of people feel like the guns are overpowered and a crutch for bad players. But let's be honest, most of the people who complain about these weapons are usually silver. Anyway, let's actually talk about what the phrase means. Breaking the auto ice means that someone bought the auto, and paying the auto price means that the enemy team now buys autos in retaliation. Chicken was a semi-famous lobby invader who would always somehow find his way into private lobbies on a lot of CSGO streamers' games. He even managed to get into the ESL 1 Katowice 2015 match lobby before obviously getting kicked, but it was pretty funny.
Chicken in the lobby here. Really wants to play. He has a good rank as well. You can see that he has the level to play in this semi-final, you know?
The chicken. I prefer steak.
Wow, we have it all. My right-hand side, actually, going to go with you, Casper. How do you feel about the selected 3 maps?
I feel like it's really good maps. I didn't really expect any.
Some people claim that Chicken even managed to get into their private lobbies, despite not even being streamers. Stay safe, guys. Who knows when he might strike next. Okay, for this next segment, I think I'm just gonna let the clips here speak for themselves, because just talking about it can't really do it justice. So enjoy these legendary moments in CSGO major history.
A last nanosecond kill, and look at the guns. 4 AWPs, Fnatic. They're ready to shoot some ducks as they cross the middle. It's gonna be a challenge, and Apex, not in this lifetime. He is destroyed.
Pronax finds Zipnik's not the best of starts. Flusher gets Dupree. Bomb is going down. Device still kicking as Fetish waits waits and waits and waits and finds himself a little bit of smoke to hide in, but it's a 2v4 and it's going to be desperately hard to hold on to. Device around the world we go, but the defuse is coming in. He's still going. Oh, Olaf just about gets it as the flames come in, and look at the little dance of happiness. That is how to control your nerves in a situation.
Gotta hit these shots. We saw Fall in this spot before, the same spot, but with much more utility to work with. Here he comes once again. The first base is a Dren. He's gonna hit the ground there as Cold. Oh, what? A jumping double from Cold! What is going on right now? How does he do this? Cold has saved Luminosity with the your play. Unthinkable scenes there on the B apartments. They needed a huge...
So wounded on Fnatic and wounded in real life as well. They look shattered right now. Fnatic, this is I mean, when you come off of a streak like they've had, dominating every LAN final for the past month, just looking untouchable, coming into the major and going out in the corners, that is definitely not...
Coming out of Squeak door as well. He's here. He sees them down there. Straight headshot. They have no idea. Smith's looking confused and dazed, and it's going to be a follow-up headshot on a Meister. You've got to be kidding me. Takes down Hiroshima as well.
Thank you so much for watching part 1 of this 2-part Iceberg. I had a lot of fun making this, and being able to talk about a game that I've played for years was also great. The next video is going to be part 2, so make sure to stay tuned for that. Anyway, with that all said, make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you, and good night.